Hey, what's going on, guys? It's BK Sports Talk here, and I am back with your NBA 2019 playoff predictions with my boy Eric Bizon. What's up, Eric?
What's up, Brendan? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us. We're going
Thank
to
you
be
for
breaking
having me.
down every single NBA playoff 2019 series, and I hope me and Eric will get together and live stream one of the games for you, preferably a Spurs game. All right, so here we go. Eric,
Okay.
you can start. Milwaukee, Detroit, who do you have? How many games and why?
I have to go with Milwaukee, obviously. Giannis playing like an MVP contender with alongside James Harden as he's competing against. But Giannis has this, and they're gonna win in 5 games.
All right, Eric says 5 games for the Bucks. I also have the Bucks. The Pistons were probably gonna lose this series even if they had Blake Griffin, but Blake Griffin's like he's battling an injury. Is he playing or not? I'm pretty sure he's gonna
Yeah,
be playing.
he's playing. He's been improving this season after being traded from the Clippers, averaging 24.5 points per game, and that's pretty impressive because when he was on the Clippers, he said he would get worn out after the All Star games, but he's been improving.
Yeah, but he is still hurt and he's gonna be basically hobbling around on one leg. Even with Blake Griffin at full health, they would probably get smacked. But because Blake Griffin's not at full health, I'm gonna go Bucks in four.
Bucks and four, interesting, interesting.
All right,
Because
so we both got the Bucks. Now on to series number two. I'll go first. Boston Celtics versus Indiana Pacers. This is a kind of interesting series. It would have been more interesting if Victor Oladipo was around, but he's not. He's out
yeah,
for the year, which is disappointing. Um, but Boston, the Celtics have been struggling all season long. They have a bunch of talent, but all their talent has been what's the word for it? All their talent has been underproducing so far. They've been waiting all year. It's been, oh, when are they gonna start playing good? When are they gonna start playing good? It hasn't come yet. I don't know if it's ever gonna
correct.
come, and if the time for them to start playing well would be right now. But either way, I do think they will still beat the Pacers because the Pacers are shorthanded. I got Celtics in six.
I agree with you. You couldn't have worded it any better. But the thing is, I don't think the Pacers will win a game at all because Oladipo is their main star, and he's out for the rest of the season, and there's no timeable return for him. And even though Kyrie and the Celtics have been struggling throughout this whole season, they'll still figure a way to work it out in the playoffs. So I have them in four.
All right, so we both chose the Celtics and we both chose the Bucks so far. We've all gone with the same predictions. On to the third series. The Philadelphia 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Eric, you take this one
Ooh,
first.
see, this is a little bit debatable, but I have to go with the 76ers. Not only do they have experience in the playoffs before, but they still have Ben Simmons. They have Jimmy Butler, who just recently got traded. They have Joel Embiid, who's arguably the best center in the league right now, and JJ Redick, who's an underrated player who shoots great threes. And they also have Tobias Harris, who also shoots threes. The Nets, although they have D'Angelo Russell, who could be a potential most improved player of the year, I don't see him trying as well as in this season.
Yeah, I believe the wait, so what's your final prediction?
I have the 76ers in 5.
All right, Eric has the 76ers in 5 games. I do agree with a lot of his points. The star power on the 76ers is undeniable. They have a bunch of all-stars on the team. I do believe it'll be tough for Brooklyn to win the series because D'Angelo Russell's going to have to carry out. I cannot see him carrying past all that star power. For that reason, I'm going to have to
Yep,
go 76ers in 6 as well.
in 6. Okay.
All right, so far me and Eric had the same exact picks. I doubt this will last for long. All right, on to the next one. The Toronto Raptors versus the Orlando Magic. Eric, you can take this one first again.
Okay. It's pretty obvious. The Raptors, Kawhi Leonard, they have experience in the playoffs. Kyle Lowry, who's having a good season as well. They also got Danny Green, who shoots really good threes, and they also acquired Marcus Gasol, who still has the talent to be a
That
good
man
center.
sucks.
No, I disagree. He still has the talent to be a good center. but he still has to work around the chemistry between his teammates. But they'll find a way to work around that as well as the Celtics and the Magic. This is what their first um, playoff appearance since what I'd say 2010, I believe. I could be wrong, but they only have a good center who is Nikola Vucevic, but that's all they have. Star power is winning for the Raptors.
Yeah, once again, I will have to agree with you. Kawhi Leonard is a man that nobody can stop. That man might be he's up there for best player in the league. You know, even though he dishes Spurs, he is one of the best players in the league, if not the best. For that reason alone, the Raptors will win the series. But one thing to note, Marc Gasol sucks, and he will get
I
exposed.
disagree.
The Spurs let go of him. The Raptors picked him up. The Spurs versus the Raptors. Not too long after that, Popovich literally he hugged Gasol in the beginning of the game. Then he exposed him on the pick and roll the entire game. And he won that game. The entire game he's just getting exposed in the pick and roll. And yeah.
Oh,
So I got
and
Raptors in four.
I do as well.
All right. So me and Eric had the exact same predictions for round one on the East side. Which it's kind of, let's be honest, a little bit predictable on the East side for round one because
I
there is
agree.
a kind of top heavy in terms of talent. But on to the West side where I think things get a little bit more interesting for at least right now until Golden State wipes out everyone. All right, Eric. Golden State Warriors versus the LA Clippers. Who you got?
Obviously, the Warriors. Five All Stars. What else is there to say? Steph Curry, probably the greatest point guard in the league right now. Obviously, Klay Thompson, two way guard. KD, athletic scorer. Draymond Green, defensive stopper. DeMarcus Cousins, tenacious rebounder. That's a stacked team. I got to go with the Warriors.
I just have a question. I might not be up on my basketball knowledge, but didn't the LA Clippers trade away like their best player to the 76ers? And I don't know
They
his name.
traded Tobias Harris.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Isn't he basically their best player?
Yeah,
So
basically.
how
But
they made the
now,
playoffs?
uh,
Where were they at the standings when they traded him away? Why'd they trade him away?
um, to be honest, I'm not really sure. I think it was probably some draft picks, I believe, or cap space, probably, or maybe both. I could be wrong though.
Well, either way, I also agree the Warriors will demolish the Clippers. I say 4 games. Steph Curry got his contacts now. He's about to splash all over the Clippers. All right,
Damn.
on to the next game. We got the Houston Rockets versus the Utah Jazz. This could be a little bit of an interesting series. Eric, who you got?
Well, this could be a good series, but I have to go with the Rockets. James Harden, MVP last year. He's playing probably even better this year. Chris Paul being the passer point guard he is. We got Eric Gordon shooting, Clint Capella, you know, just an ultimate team. But they will lose 2 games. I'd say this goes to game 6, but the Rockets will take it.
I also agree the Rockets will take this series. James Harden is the best offensive player in the league. It's not even a question at this point. And I believe that would be too much for the Jazz to overcome. Rockets in 6 as well. All right, on to the next series. We got the Portland Trailblazers versus Oklahoma City Thunder. Eric, who you got?
Honestly, I have to go with the Thunder. Not only does Russell Westbrook and Paul George have the chemistry, but the Trailblazers did lose Yusuf Nurkic to a terrible, gruesome leg injury. I know, prayers up for him. But Steven Adams is also an all-around good center, and yeah, because Paul George is also an MVP contender. So I have to go with the Thunder in 6.
I once again agree with you. Not surprised that we're agreeing on everything. All right, with Nurkic out, I do believe the Trailblazers will struggle. Um, isn't Cantor on the Thunder? I feel like
Yes, Cantor.
I feel like he's gonna
Yes,
eat
Cantor's
now
on the
because
team.
Nurkic is out. Um, Paul George, bro. Paul George is extremely underrated in my opinion. He is one of the best players in the game. Uh,
I do agree.
I believe he's on the lower echelon of the top five, so maybe the fourth or fifth slot, maybe even a little lower than that. But he's not talked about enough as how good he is, offensively and defensively.
Right.
So we both got the Thunder. For the last series of the first round, we got the Denver Nuggets versus the San Antonio Spurs. I will go first. I got
So
the Spurs in 6 games. The Spurs will win this series. Do not doubt me. Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge will dominate this series. The Denver Nuggets have the youngest roster in the NBA playoffs this year, and I believe inexperience and Coach Popovich will be too much to overcome for the young Nuggets. But they will be good in the future. They will be back next year. I got Spurs in 6.
I'm gonna have to go with the Nuggets on this one because you have Nikola Jokic, 20.1 points per game, 10.8 rebounds per game, 7.3 assists. That's pretty much a point center. We have Jamal Murray, who's averaging 18.2 points per game, which is pretty decent for a point guard. And with them playing together like that, they actually made the first seed. But again, the Warriors, being that who they are and who they have, obviously they took the first seed. But um, the Nuggets have improved dramatically over like the years, and I just don't see the Spurs winning this series. I do agree that they will win some games, but it's just not enough to
I
compete against the
believe I
Nuggets.
believe only one team will win a road game, and it will be the Spurs in game 1 or 2. They will take that game. Everyone else, every other home game will be won by the home team.
I have the Nuggets in 6 games.
All right, so for the first series, the last series of the first round is the first series me and Eric disagree on. I put a slash in the middle for it, so we both have our teams there. All right, so back to the east side. Now we're in round two. The first series of round two, the Bucks versus the Celtics. Eric, who you got?
This is a little bit debatable, but I'm gonna have to go with the Celtics because they find a way to make it work in the playoffs. Like the regular season is just whatever. They make mistakes. They don't make mistakes in the playoffs. When it comes to the playoffs, they turn up. The Bucks only have Giannis who is trying to do everything for his team, but I don't think it's enough. I have Celtics in 6.
All right, so Eric has Celtics in 6. I have to disagree and go with the Bucks on this series. The Greek Freak will be too much for the Celtics. The Celtics have shown me nothing so far. Until I see something, it's gonna be Bucks in 7 games. Yes, I predict a 7 game series. This will be a great series. But I have to. The Greek Freak will dunk over Jason Tatum in Game 7 for the win. All right. So on to the next series. We got the 76ers and the Raptors. Eric, who you got?
I have to go with the Raptors on this. Although the 76ers do have 3 All-Stars on the team, possibly 4, I just see Kawhi Leonard because Kawhi Leonard, he does like excellent when it comes to playoffs. Although he got hurt, that wasn't his fault. Kawhi Leonard does his thing on the court, and I think they will win this in 5 games.
I agree with you. I have to go with the Raptors again. If Kawhi Leonard does not get stepped down by Zaza Pachulia in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, was that the Western Conference Finals
Yes,
2 years ago?
2017. Yes,
The Spurs would have went to the NBA Finals that year. I completely believe that. They were winning by double-digit points before Kawhi Leonard gets hurt, and then he goes out of the game, and then they lose the series. Though they get, I don't know if they got swept, but it was 4 or 5
they
games
did.
at that point. They got
They
swept.
did get swept. Yeah,
Yeah, they got swept. Without Kawhi Leonard, they had no chance. But I believe Kawhi Leonard will be way too much. No one can guard him on the 76ers. The 76ers have their own problems. Ben Simmons limits the 76ers of how far they can go, no matter what Joel Embiid and all the other guys there do. I believe Ben Simmons shooting limits the hell out of the 76ers. So I got
I do
Raptors
agree.
in 5.
I do agree.
All right, back to the West. We got This will be a rematch of the Western Conference Finals from last year. This should be another great one. The Warriors and the Rockets. Eric, who you got?
Again, I have to go with the Warriors. You know, five All Stars. Even though James Harden's having an MVP season again, you can't stop Steph Curry and his whole team. They have the chemistry. Steve Kerr, you know, working around with the system, it works out perfectly. I have to go with the Warriors in 6 games.
I once again also have to go with the Warriors this offseason. The Warriors added another All-Star. I feel like the Rockets kind of regressed slightly.
Yes.
And let's be honest, the Rockets lost to the Warriors last year. Even if you thought they could have won if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt or whatever, they lost last year. I think they got worse. The Warriors got better. For that reason, I have to go Warriors in 5. Now on to the last series of the second round. We got the Thunder, and for you it's the Nuggets. For me it's the Spurs. Who you got?
I have to go with the Thunder on this. Again, Paul George having an MVP season. It could possibly be Defensive Player of the Year. I see no star small forward on the Nuggets. Although they have Jokic, Steven Adams could or will step up his game to guard Jokic because that's their star player. And when it comes to defense, Russell Westbrook will go hard on defense on Jamal Murray, limit his points per game, and I see the Thunder winning this in 5 games.
You have the Thunder in 5.
Yes.
All right. Well, for me, I got the Spurs in 7. Once again, the Spurs will win this series. I swear to you, I'm not a homer. Okay, the Spurs. It's easy why the Spurs will win this. Russell Westbrook will not be able. Let's be honest. Russell Westbrook limits his team slightly because of his. I know he's having like a career year in assists and stuff, but let's be honest. He's like the type of guy that like he doesn't look naturally for passes. He's like I feel like he has to be looking for a pass before he can pass the ball. If he's looking to shoot, he's gonna shoot. And I feel like the Spurs will put him in a position where he has to start shooting, and his shot has not been that great this year. I believe it is down from his past years. For that reason, I believe Coach Popovich and the Spurs will get to the Western Conference Finals for a rematch of the 2 years ago for the Spurs and Warriors. I got Spurs in 7.
I have to make one note. I do agree that Russell Westbrook doesn't pass to just pass. He passes for assists. I do agree with that. He forces it. But in 2018, when he records triple doubles, their win percentage is 82%. So, uh, I don't call it stat. I personally don't call it stat padding, even though some people might will. I call it helping the team and doing what's right for the team.
I just think Derek White will be able to limit Russell Westbrook somewhat to the point where he's gonna get his points, he's gonna ball. He won't be getting triple doubles though. I do believe he will
I
not be getting triple
I
doubles
do
against the
agree he
Spurs.
won't get triple doubles, but anything can happen. Anything can happen in the series.
All right, so I got Spurs and Eric got the Thunder. So we have a couple different predictions so far, but a lot of the same. We're back to the East, where I chose the Bucks, I believe, and you chose the Celtics. So
Correct.
you got Celtics versus Raptors. I got Bucks versus Raptors. You go first.
I have to go with the Celtics on this one. This will go to a game 7 because let me explain. Let me explain. Kyrie turns up as usual. He's gonna go back to his 2016 Cavs year. Uh, Gordon Hayward, who's coming off the bench, 20 points per game. That's really good, even though he doesn't start. Jason Tatum, he's in a little bit of a slump, but I feel like he will also turn up when it comes to crunch time. Al Horford, who can shoot decent threes, outstanding rebounder, and I see Kawhi Leonard probably trying his hardest to get through each and every game, but I don't see him winning at this point.
All right, so you got Celtics fan.
7.
Celtics in 7. 7 game series. He has the Celtics winning and moving on to the NBA Finals. For me, it is Bucks versus Raptors. I have to go with the Raptors in 6 games.
6.
I believe, contrary to popular belief, I believe Kawhi Leonard is better than Giannis. Giannis is somewhat limited. People don't want to talk about this. Giannis, I feel like, is somewhat limited to he drives a lot, he dunks a lot. Uh, I just feel like Kawhi Leonard is a better athlete overall. And let's say it was a 1v1 versus Kawhi and Giannis, I would take Kawhi every single day of the week. As a lot of people may as well because of like the player type differences, but like I just believe Kawhi Leonard. Well, there's more to teams just these two guys, but what I'm trying to get at is Kawhi Leonard is better than Giannis.
All right, interesting.
All right, so on to the Western Conference Finals. You have Warriors versus Thunder. I have Warriors versus Spurs. You go first.
Again, the Warriors, five All Stars. What's there to prove? Russell Westbrook lost his previous dynamic duo, Kevin Durant. But again, Kevin Durant, you know, is is what is that called? What am I? He's surrounded by Steph Curry and Clay, and Draymond. Even though him and Draymond have some controversy at times on the court, they know how to play and they know how to win a championship. So I have to go with the Warriors in six teams.
So you got Warriors in six against the Thunder.
Correct.
All right, I also have to go with the Warriors over the Spurs. Um, although the Spurs will give it their all, the star power is way too heavily on the Warriors side. The Spurs have had success against the Warriors this year. So
They
I will
did,
have
yes.
I will have them going to 6 games, but I believe the Warriors will turn up because it's playoff time. They know the stakes. The regular season, I found I kind of feel like they kind of coast through at this point. So I think it will be Warriors in 6 games. So for you, you have the Celtics versus Warrior NBA Finals. For me, it's the Raptors versus Warriors. Who you got in the finals?
I have the Warriors going for the three-peat. Again, five All Stars. Even though the Celtics have beat the Warriors by 20 plus points at when the Warriors were home, I don't see that in the playoffs because Kyrie, he's gonna try and take the ball as much as possible if his teammates don't score it. But Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time, Klay Thompson, two-way guard, Kevin Durant, all-around superstar, Draymond, defensive player, DeMarcus Cousins, all-around center. I don't see the Celtics having the potential that they had uh, back in 2008
All right, so you got Warriors.
in five games.
Warriors in five for Eric. For me, it is the Raptors versus the Warriors, and I have the Raptors in 7 games.
Ooh,
Yes, the
ooh,
Raptors in 7 games.
ooh.
I believe Kyle Lowry will be balling out. Kawhi Leonard will be balling out. Danny Green will help enough where they will be able to shut down their best offensive weapons. Even though I said Marc Gasol is trash, I think he can kind of limit DeMarcus Cousins. And I feel like the Raptors are the perfect counter to the Warriors. If there were ever a time where the Warriors could lose, it would be right now. Let's be honest, Kawhi Leonard basically not really single-handedly, but with a lot of not really amazing players on the Spurs. It wasn't really that much help in 2017 when he had a double-digit lead in the first game. I think he has more help now than he did then, and they will get the job done in 7 games.
It's interesting. It's interesting. But I believe that Steph Curry will win the Finals MVP
Also, we didn't really
because
talk about the Warriors. That could be getting a little fatigued at this point. They've played a lot of games over the past couple of years, more games than almost every other team. More games than every other team, like for a fact, a lot more games than some teams. I feel like the Raptors are the freshest out of the Warriors and the Raptors. I feel like the Raptors would be 10 times more fresh. Because I mean, Kawhi Leonard, their best player, hasn't really played that much. He's even taking break games this year. I mean, he's kind of rested. I think he should be able to him and the rest of the Raptors will be able to secure the W.
I do agree that they're fresh and that Kawhi Leonard has experience in the finals. But again, the Warriors, they've made the finals what 5 years in a row now since 2015. So they know what to do and they know how to play and work around
Is it
throughout
is it
this whole
is it
system.
possible though that their hunger level could be a little low for the championship? Maybe they're not trying as hard this year.
It is possible because they have to share the ball with all these five all stars. But again, they find a way to work around it because of their team chemistry.
All right, so that will do it. I got the Raptors winning the NBA Finals. Eric got the Warriors. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what you'd like to see next time. Eric will be back on the channel soon for hopefully we can live stream a Spurs playoff game, maybe another team's playoff game. We were trying to get on that ASAP. For all you NBA fans and all other sports, I am BK Sports Talk. That is Eric Bizon, and we will see you next time.